for Monday, November 6th. Jordan, would you start us off with a roll call, please?
Please respond by stating present. Councilmember Ronayne.
Present.
Foberg.
Present.
Liebelt.
Present.
Reif.
Present.
Johnson.
Present.
Reinbold.
Present.
Langer. Norvstrup.
Present.
Mayor Shoneman.
Present. Please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. First order of business will be to approve this week's agenda. Can I get a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
Motion, Councilman Reinbold, second. Councilman Johnson, anything from the council on this? I'm not aware of any changes. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And opposed, nay. Motion carries. Second order of business will be to approve the minutes of our meeting from 2 weeks ago, October 23rd.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion, Councilman Ronayne, second, Councilwoman Liebelt. Does anyone from the council have anything to add, change, discuss? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Chief, we have nobody signed up there for the open forum, doesn't look like. I had reason to believe we might have one, but not the case. All right, so we've got 5 items of consent calendar business here tonight, including a proclamation for Family Caregivers Month here in November. We've got a lottery notice, a residential building contractor license notice, a retail liquor wine license renewal, and setting 2 hearing dates for later on this month. Can I get a motion to approve our consent calendar agenda items?
Move to approve. Second.
Motion, Councilman Reif, second. Councilman Reinbold, does anyone have anything? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Moving along to our single item of old business, where we've got a second reading of an ordinance 23-1002, which repeals provisions in our city's code regarding security guards. Ron, anything new?
No, Mr. Mayor, we've heard no comments, and staff recommends approval for second reading and final adoption of the ordinance.
Thank you, Ron.
I will move for approval.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson, second. Councilman Northrup, once again, thanks for those who made the recommendation to eliminate an unnecessary regulation. Anyone from the council have anything? Last words before we take our second and final vote? All right, Jordan?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Reif.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Norvstrup.
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Moving along to new business, we've got a public hearing and possible approval of a first reading ordinance to rezone properties described as lots 466 and 467, which are at the Morning Heights subdivision, physically located at 616 Rock Street, from C2 and R3, highway commercial and high-density residential, to simply high-density residential. Ken, I imagine you're here to tell us a little bit about that.
Yep, the petitioner is requesting to rezone in order to eliminate split zoning and to bring the property into a district that is consistent with its residential use. Staff recommends approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Ronayne and a second from Councilman Norvstrup on this one. Anyone from the council have any questions for our city plan?
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Councilwoman.
is that lot just to the north also split zoned? I can't tell what that red line is.
The,
It's got a red line going right through the building.
nope, that's just a narrow lot there. It's a 25-foot lot. It has actually been purchased by the property to the north and will be rezoned in the very near future.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
will that also be high-density residential?
No, that one will continue with the commercial use of the property to the north.
Thank you.
All right, if there's nothing further, Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote on the first reading of that ordinance?
Councilmember Norvstrup,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Fauberg,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next, we've got a public hearing and a possible approval of a new retail on-off sale malt beverage and South Dakota wine license to Maria Santana, DBA Albertanos, which is located on East 6th Avenue in the old Pizza Hut building. I don't think anyone's here to speak on behalf of that, so if someone from the council were so inclined, I would entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion Rife, second Reinbold. Anyone from the council have any questions about this? Did they not have liquor before, or any beer, wine? Must not have. Must not have. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next, we've got a public hearing and possible approval, similar to the last, of an on-off sale malt beverage license to Hendrik Petrus Van Vuren, which doing business as the Barbecue Twist at 410 South Main Street. Once again, I see no one from the organization here to speak on behalf of that, so if someone from our council was so inclined to carry this motion, speak up.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion Reinbold, second Ronayne. Anyone from the council have any words to say? All right, then, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next, we've got the possible approval of a lease of certain land formerly occupied by Presentation College. Ron, are you planning to walk us through some of the specifics of that lease?
Sure, Mr. Mayor, I can. The proposed lease of certain of the recreational facilities of the former Presentation College campus furthers the joint mission of the city and the Presentation Sisters to serve the health and wellness needs of the community. There is a modest rental amount in the lease, which we anticipate will be in the neighborhood of around $4,000, but the lease will be for the properties identified as 1, 2, 3, and 7 in the Exhibit A to the document, and those include the current area known as the Dome area, a soccer field to the west of that, the Strode Center and parking, and then north and east of the Dome, there's an open area as well. But we have been working with the Presentation Sisters on this, and as you can see in the lease itself, it does contemplate an eventual purchase of these properties as well.
Thank you, Ron. And yeah, just to add to that a little bit, this is kind of a necessary step to allow us access to the facilities to use for the better use of our public good in through our Parks and Rec department in the time being until the platting and so forth can take place so we can officially own the thing outright. So appreciate the work that you've done on it, Ron, with their attorney. Robin, have you got something?
One item, I think there's been some interest in how soon things will be happening. Parks and Rec is working very hard right now to get programming set up for those facilities, especially the interest in the Dome, but there's a lot of interest in the Strode Center as well. They do anticipate having things ready to go maybe around the 1st of December so that we can start allowing people in there and start utilizing the property. I know our building inspections have taken place with both building official and the fire marshal, and they are in a position to at least tell us how many people we can have in there at any given time. So a lot of this stuff is moving and changing daily, so we should see some things being programmed in there within a month or so.
Thank you, Robin. All right, so with that, what we'd ultimately be taking motion on here, or taking action on today, is to approve the lease as included in this packet. Would someone care to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilwoman Fauberg and a second from Councilman Ronayne. We'd covered a little bit about the specifics. I know that you all knew that it was coming down the pipeline. Does anyone have any questions as it relates to the particulars of the lease or in particular. Okay, Councilman Johnson?
Thank you, Mayor. Today being November 6th, judging from the packet information, the lease is actually already in force, and we're verifying it. October 16th is the start date. Is
We
that
were
correct?
essentially making it effective the time that we had erected the dome.
Mhm.
But yeah, it'll date back. We understand that the coverage, the insurance coverage, which as the lease talks about is the kind of the activator there, and we will prorate that back to on October
October.
16th. Yep.
Very well. Thank you.
Sounds good. Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Fauberg.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Reif.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Norvstrup.
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you all. Next, we've got a possible approval of the final change order in the amount of $4,274.42, as well as a payment of $25,357.76 to McQueen Emergency for our Pierce Enforcer Rescue Pumper Fire Apparatus. And here to talk a little bit about that is Fire Chief Weig. Fire Chief, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Mayor. The truck committee went to Appleton, Wisconsin a month ago to complete the final inspection on the truck. And during that time, we discovered a few items that weren't initially specified in the build. And that's what we're requesting approval of for the $4,274.42. Those items were some additional emergency lighting, a couple of steps on the side of the apparatus in order to reach an upper compartment, and heaters in the cab that were unfortunately missed during the initial build.
I move to approve the change order and payment.
Second.
I've got a motion from Councilman Renane and a second from Councilman Reif. Does anyone from the council have any questions for the Fire Chief? All right, Jordan?
Councilmember Norvstrup. Reinbold.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Reif.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Fauberg.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
tonight, Joel. Appreciate it. Always good to see you. Next, we've got a possible approval of a funding agreement with the South Dakota Department of Transportation for railroad crossing signals and roadway upgrades. And here to talk about that is Mr. Stu Nelson. Stu, what can you tell us about that agreement?
Thanks, Mayor. So the signals at the intersection of Fifth Street and Melgard, near as we can tell, were installed sometime in the 70s and have kind of lived their useful life. So this agreement is basically put in place to allow the installation of new crossing arms and, the flashing lights and that stuff. And in order to do that, the city has a little bit of work to do there. We need to upgrade the rec path that goes across the tracks there with some detectable warning panels and a little bit of warning signage. And then we also are responsible for patching in once they do the new crossing material, which is actually done. We have to patch back in. So that's where our share of the cost comes in on this project. We anticipate these new crossing arms will be put in next construction season.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson, and was that you, Josh?
No.
Oh, second from Councilman Ronayne, and so our total cost is $18,000, but where does the other 90% come from?
It comes from the South Dakota DOT.
Thank you very much. Stu, any other questions? Go ahead, Councilman Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. Stu, will the existing metal frame that is at that intersection remain or be taken out?
So those towers and cantilever arms that are there will be removed, but they'll be replaced with something similar, just updated, and probably a little bit more structurally sound than what's there now.
Councilman Reinbold?
Will this be working towards a silent crossing at all, or what else would need to be done to have a silent crossing there?
So for a silent crossing in this location, we'd need to do some additional work because of the proximity of the tracks to Fifth Street. Probably the only way that the railroad would allow us to do a silent crossing there would be to do double closer gates. So we'd essentially have to have another set of gates on the west side that would completely close the street off. And I'm sure there would be other requirements that they would have to allow us to do that. You know, I'm trying to think of what all the stuff was we did when we did the ones on 8th Avenue and Roosevelt there. We had to put in the islands in the middle, which if you do the double crossing arms, then you don't have to do those islands. So, and there was a few other things that we had to do.
You've got the study that would have
Right.
to happen as well. And it's all based on safety. And it's a half mile corridor, which I think we'd meet because there isn't anything within that area, but you'd still have the horns that may sound at Third Avenue and at Sixth Avenue.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure, you know,
Actually-
you'd want to make sure you got all that taken care of at the same time. So there'd be more crossings to deal with.
You'd have 9th Avenue and 12th Avenue.
Yep.
And 6th Avenue and 3rd Avenue that you'd have to deal with as well. So if you're gonna do it, you would wanna probably try to do all of those at the same time.
Okay. I was just wondering if it makes sense to do the double arm closers right now, if we're already doing it, or if that's not part of the grant. I don't know.
It's not part of the scope of work, and it would be something that I would guess if you start talking to the DOT about it, would probably be a little bit more difficult to accomplish that under the parameters of this agreement. So,
Okay.
and it would be something that would be relatively easy to add in the future. So I think at the time we get serious about, you know, doing the study and, you know, setting aside the funds to do this, then that would be the time to start talking about installing those crossing arms.
Okay. Thank you.
So the remainder of those other avenues that you had mentioned that are also across that track, none of those have other arms, right?
3rd Avenue and 6th Avenue have arms, but 9th and 12th do not. So
Right.
you would have to probably contemplate installing them there as well in order to make this work.
All right, thank you. Anyone else on the council have any questions? Sorry, Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Philberg.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Rife.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Norvstrup.
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next, we've got a possible approval of a change order, which amounts to $7,020, and a final payment of $25,041.88 to CWF Masonry for our accessible quadrant improvements. Stu, this is the first time you've had an opportunity to talk about those accessible quadrants, but Robin has told us quite a bit about them.
So we did, I think I filled in for Robin here just a while back, and we had a pay request for this
Oh, well,
particular
fine.
project. But however, yes, so we did, I just went and looked, 51 ramps under this project this year, which was a significant amount, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of almost twice as many as we normally do in a year. We were able to find a lot that didn't have storm sewer to do. That usually is the big cost driver for these is adding storm sewer. So I was looking at this before I came down here, and I went and looked at our little map that we have on the wall and counted all the non-compliant ones that we have left, and it's somewhere under 50. So I think we started out with, you know, there's upwards of 1,000 of these in town, and we've been doing this for a number of years. So we're really closing in on getting the completely non-compliant ones eliminated. When we're done with that, which will probably be next year, we'll shift gears and we'll go back and we'll start working on the ones that are partially compliant and make those all completely accessible as well. So it's pretty cool to see this. You start this project and you think, man, it's going to take forever to do this. Well, it hasn't been forever. It's been a while, but it's actually gone very well.
Thank you, Stu. Did we get a?
I'll move to approve the change order and payment.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Ronayne, second from Councilman Reinbold. Anyone have any questions for our Public Works Director?
Mr. Mayor?
Nelson, go ahead, Councilwoman.
I just want to thank you for your work on making these curbs more accessible. It's important to our city to make it accessible to everyone, and I appreciate that work for however long it's been. And this is the kind of thing that should probably be a press release.
That's a
We
good
should
idea.
be proud of it.
Absolutely.
If we had a communications person,
Well,
who could do that for
hold
us.
on a second. We'll have at least a year before this is a finished project. So you don't get-
99% is
You don't
something
get much
to
press
celebrate.
for saying that something is almost done.
Almost done.
I should point out that
Someday soon.
it was the council who saw fit to provide the funding to do this. So that in large part is why we're at where we are, is because that funding's been set aside for us. So
One of the things to note too is that years ago, we only had budgeting of $100,000, and we could see that it was a real uphill climb at $100,000 a year. So council was willing to go to 200,000, and that has cut the effort in half. So it was a good thing, really good thing.
That's great.
Thanks for that additional input. If there's nothing else from the council, I would take a roll call vote, Jordan.
Councilmember Norvstrup,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Fauberg,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got a possible approval of a change order in the amount of $8,636.48 and a final payment of the same to Jensen Rock and Sand for their work on our mill and overlay projects. And once again, Public Works Director Stu Nelson. Stu, what can you tell us about these payments?
So this is just to kind of wrap the project up. Because we did change, I think I mentioned this at our last meeting where we dealt with the original final pay request. This is a final pay request. That we had increased the scope of the project significantly by adding new storm sewer laterals and storm inlets on every intersection that had storm sewer on it on this particular stretch of North State Street. When we were doing that, the contractor pointed out to us that they had seen over the original 24 square feet of detectable warning panels that we put in. I think we ended up going to about 176 square feet. So they had seen a significant price increase on those panels. So this pay request and change order addressed that and the additional mobilization that was required to get the work done. So
All right, to entertain a motion to make these two payments.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson, second from Councilman Reinbold. Does anyone have any questions or comments on this change order or payment for the mill and overlay improvements before we take our vote? Jordan?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Fauberg,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Thanks for joining us tonight. Once again, Stu, we've got next an appointment of Tara Moore to the Business Improvement District 2 Board. I see Casey's here. Is that how you pronounce her last name? I probably shouldn't have even asked. Nobody knows. But she seems like a great gal, and she seems like the perfect person to take part in the Business Improvement 2 District Board, if you ask me. So, I would take a motion to make that appointment.
Move to approve.
Second.
I've got a motion from Councilman Reinbold and a second from Councilman Johnson. She does meet the requirement of working at one of these places, which is the primary driver of the, all right, then. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion carries. Final vote here this evening will be to review and approve this week's claims and payroll. Of course, our bill list for this week, November 6th, and the pay period is October 22nd through November 4th.
Move to approve the bill.
Second.
Motion Ronayne, second. Councilman Rife, Jordan, would you give us a roll call, please?
Councilmember Norvstrup,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Wright,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Foberg,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got our city manager's report, and then we will have to clear the room afterwards for an executive session to discuss some contractual matters. Robin?
Okay, on Wednesday, we will have our funding, or a request to be put on the state water plan to help us get some funding, additional funding for the water tower and the transmission line, which you all know has gone up significantly in price. We were planning on originally self-funding that, and now we're gonna be looking for some additional help on the revolving state loan. That will be coming up on Wednesday. It has been pointed out that previous city managers have been doing a weekly report, so I will start giving you an update on what I have done other than just phone calls all week long or meetings all week long. I'll try to give you a brief summary of everything that I've been encountering over the course of the week. And we did have a couple people in October that hit milestones. Jordan Bush from PD, I think he was at 5 years if I remember right. And Scott Slosher, who's in our street department, hit 25 years. And so it's nice to see people hit those kinds of milestones. It's obvious that we have a place that you can have a long-term career at, and Scott's one of them. So congratulations to those two, and that's all I've got.
Thank you, Robin. So why don't we take just a few moments, and if you're not going to be part of the next discussion, you can bid farewell, and we appreciate you having joined us here tonight, and we will resume in a few moments with this executive session.